everyone, welcome back to Woman Crush It Wednesday. Today I have with me one of my good friends, Jules. She's been around here in recovery for a few years now, and we're just going to talk a little bit about her experience in sobriety. So you got into a relationship early in sobriety. Would you like to talk about how that's gone for you so far?
So it's definitely not ideal or suggested that you do that. I guess that was a struggle for many years for me. I would get out of treatment and I'd get into a relationship and then I'd relapse. It was like a cycle. So I tried something different for a period of time. I ended up meeting somebody, I think I maybe had 90 days, and then we started dating. I don't know if either of us really knew anything about ourselves, let alone to get to know each other. I'm still with him. We have a daughter who's about to be 2. So we've had a lot of ups and downs in this 2.5, almost 3 years, but I think we made it work, and we kept our recovery separate in the beginning, and I did a different fellowship than him, so it was completely separate, so it's not like he was nitpicking my recovery and I wasn't nitpicking his. But like I said, it's definitely not suggested. It adds a lot of unnecessary stuff to your life, I think, that you don't need when you're first getting sober.
What have been some of the obstacles in having a child early in sobriety, but what have been some of the blessings as well?
So when I first found out I was pregnant, I actually wasn't speaking to my family at the time. They just wanted me to be sober, and be able to trust that I was in recovery and doing well. And I told my sponsor first. I was super scared. I was only with Chase for a few months. I was still in a halfway house. I really just, if this makes sense, put one foot in front of the other and just woke up every day and was okay, I can do this, I got into my steps and I started surrounding myself with women, young moms who were also in recovery in the rooms. I asked them millions of questions. I picked their brains. A lot of people offered me help, offered me baby stuff and everything like that. So the people around me in the beginning is really what made me feel like I was able to do it, because when I first got sober, I had no self-worth, no self-esteem, and then I'm just supposed to pop out a baby and just be this super mom. That's really the expectation that I had for myself. I struggled with that. Of course, she's great. I think with parenting, you learn a lot about yourself and a lot about your boundaries, if you have any, your patience, and what you would want to emulate for your child, how you would want her or him to grow up and be. She's 2, she's crazy, but she honestly saved my life. I went through postpartum after I had her, so I went to seek outside help, therapists, whatever. I got some help for that, but that's a very hard thing to explain unless you've been through it, the feelings and stuff. It's very different. In addiction, we all feel the same feelings, right? It doesn't really matter the substance. With postpartum, there's a lot of different levels to it, I guess you could say, a lot of different things that women go through, and it's actually not really talked about a lot. And I think, in my opinion, a lot of women that struggle with substance abuse or mental health in general probably struggle with it more, right. But like I said, I kept close to my girls, and Chase was great, and my sponsor was great, and I was lucky enough to have the support of my family throughout my pregnancy. They, we reconnected and we started talking again and building a relationship, and now it's better than ever.
Right. And I mean, you had that foundation, that solid foundation that you can go to, but it all started with you reaching out. Mm-hmm. Like you said, one foot in front of the other, just keep moving, but extending your hand and saying, hey, listen, I need some help. Mm-hmm. Because that's one of the hardest things to do, I think, but once you get over that hump and continually reach out and do what you have to do, now things fall into place, and it's a blessing. Mm-hmm. And you had said that postpartum isn't really talked about so much, but I'm sure once you reached out, you found that it's more common than not, and you found more people you could relate to on it.
Yeah, so when I first decided that there was definitely something not normal, not just the baby blues or just normal depression, I went to a meeting that night. I raised my hand, I was in the back, and mind you, I had a year and a half sober at this point, so I had women, but for some reason I went to this meeting. It's an all women's meeting. I raised my hand in the back. I was sharing in tears. I was just I need help. I literally like blurted it out and told them the way that I felt, and like 3 different women who are still in my life today came up to me and was like, oh my gosh, I went through that, like I know how you're feeling.
Right.
Do you have any questions for me? Like, if there's anything I can do, like I'll come over and fold your laundry if you need me to, like whatever we can do to help you, just know that you're not alone. And I know that I'm not alone, right? But when you're feeling those feelings, it's like you almost force yourself to isolate.
Right.
And then you go through guilt because you're like, well, I have this perfect little baby, why do I feel like this? You know what I mean? You just go through a lot of emotions, and if I hadn't reached out, I don't know what would have happened, but I know it wouldn't have been the best thing for my daughter or my boyfriend or myself or my recovery.
And you know, I have never personally been through that situation just yet in my life, but like it all goes back to the woman in the program, how we support each other no matter what, you know? Somebody's going to help guide you in the direction for you to go and to get the help that you need, and everyone is still there to like cheer you on and be your cheerleader. Whose personality would you say Carly has more of?
She definitely looks like Chase, but she has my sass and attitude.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Yeah, we're trying to work on that.
I think it's great. She's the best.
Ugh.
And just for the record, how many times did you want to drop kick Benji in the face during McFit?
Every time, really. Every time, but it works.
But it
get
works.
there.
It works, yeah. Thanks for sitting with me. I love you very much. Until next time, we're gonna keep crushing it.